Do-do-do-do, it's Camdork.
Hello everyone, this is Camdork, and welcome to episode number 26 of Season 2 of my Buildcraft, where we play Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Thermal Expansion, and Forestry installed. So guys, it is still the festive time of year, the Christmas season, and I'm feeling in the spirit of things, and especially since I actually just kind of popped open Minecraft and noticed that it really was 'tis the season. Yeah. I forgot that they did this in Minecraft, and every time it kind of happens, I'm like, wow, awesome. So the base looks a little different as you can kind of tell. But the first thing we're going to do today, and before we do anything else, is try to breed a merry bee. A merry bee, because that's what, hey, that's so adorable. Because that's what happens. We breed merry bees. So I'm going to go ahead and try to breed a merry bee, and let's see if we have one. I think you can take a wintry bee and a forest bee. I think that's it, and you have to breed them around Christmas time. So let's look for where the forest bees, I should say, would be in here. I have, like, no forest drones. That is a travesty. I can't believe I'm going to have to go out and get forest drones just so I can breed. I really am. Just so I can breed a merry bee. I'm going to do it. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do it, and we'll kind of revel at the awesomeness of the merry bee, and then that's it. And then we're going to do whatever we're going to do this episode. So it kind of looks like it's snowing, but it's really just bees. It's just bees. No big deal. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in a second. I need to get some bees. Yeah. All right. Aha! I forgot. I had a bunch of forest drones in here. We're just going to take them all and see what I think they're all standard drones, but yeah, we're going to use those. Okay, so I'm going to use those. We're going to do our little breeding, and oh, we actually got a decent amount of queens. What about that? But anyways, we're going to do our little breeding thing, and I'll be back. Ho, ho, ho! Merry bees, merry bees. Anyway, I'm at what I'm going to call the ice tower. It's made of snow, and not ice. It's actually made of snow and light blue glass. But this is where I decided it's the closest cold biome for bee breeding. So this is a bee breeding location where I'm just going to kind of build a somewhat themed building. Sure, why not? I'm actually going to probably take each location that I have these bees and try to build an interesting building. I have, I just sort of started this only with the forest cabin over there in sort of that direction. Right now we are, if you basically exit my base and walk straight out the front door and head just a little bit to the left, you'll get to this ice tower. So it's just a pretty standard tower, nothing too strange about it. It has all the loveliness. It doesn't really look great. I'm not like super proud of this or anything. The walls are kind of flat, not really that well textured. I kind of like what I did to the ceiling, but kinda. And then it sort of goes up to here to a bunch of nothingness and a bunch of, like I said, meh. It's not really finished, and I'm not really crazy about this top. So I might change it, but yeah, I built a little bridge, and that way is my base. So what we're gonna actually, wait a minute, what is going on there? I'll have to check that out later, but the bees are being bred down there. And good news is that we actually have a merry bee. Hooray! So we bred a merry bee. This one is purebred merry, so let me just check him out. See, merry! Woohoo! He's very merry. He doesn't have all the cool traits, though. He doesn't have great fertility. He does not have the snowing effect, either. So it's kind of a strange merry bee, but he is also nocturnal, which is also strange. The problem is that I can't make this bee any better because I can't breed him right now because he requires an icy biome, and this is taiga, so it's not icy. So I think maybe in that direction there is more icy biomes, but it's fine. It's fine, whatever, no big deal. For now, we do have another merry bee as well, and at least we have a merry trait that we can use because the time for breeding them is not past today. Today is December 27th, which I believe is the last day you can breed them. So anyway, we're going to head back, but before we do, actually, you know what? This is odd. I don't think this is a jungle biome leaf. I think these are actually from, there were swamp bees before that were here. At least I don't think the bees can reach this far. So the only hives that were here before were the swamp bees that I got. So I guess natural hives can also do this. I'll come back with a grafter and see what we actually got, because it looks like it crossbred this swamp tree with something else over here. Either another swamp tree or one of the jungle trees. It's kind of odd. These are the only two blocks, though, that I see that did that, which is kind of strange. Anyway, let's continue, just because I wanted to show you what's going on here. So this episode, oh, incidentally, all these little locations in my world, I want to connect them with some sort of minecart network at some point. So that's something I want to do, and maybe, yes, maybe powered using I don't know, some biofuel, because one of you mentioned, hey, wait, Chemdork, you mentioned in the very first episode of the season that you were going to use biofuel, and that's right. That's totally right. I did mention that, and that is the plan eventually, but I still am getting some oil from my well, so that'll work for the time being. It's not really of vital importance, but yes, at some point I would like to do that. So anyway, there's my base, where we actually have another better Mary Bee going on. So as you can see, it's not too far. It's just kind of annoying to get to, though. Woo! Alright, so in the last part of this episode, though, not the last, in last episode, we figured out how to move Blaze around using minecarts, and we're going to be doing that as well this episode, in addition to our Mary Bee breeding, which is why I think the title of this episode is rather appropriate. So this is the best way into my base. Ooh, is just up to the top, because usually I'm coming up here to check on my bees. So I had a bunch that I will need to check on. So cool and awesome. This regeneration is due to the Imperial bees. Thank you, Imperial bees. We also have rural bees going on pretty well. Got nice purebreds of those, and working on purebreds of frugal bees as well, which is kind of moving in the branch of the sinister bees, I think. Well, kind of. Yes. No, it's moving in kind of with the desert bees. I think this branch is where I'm going to be there. Anyway, let me kind of gather some stuff together. I'm going to do a little bit more bee breeding off camera, and then we're going to head to the nether and continue our efforts there to improve the blaze farms through moving of blaze carts, because that was fun last episode. Let's do it again. Awesome. Cool. See you in a bit. Well now, while I'm busy breeding some merry and tipsy bees, actually, because it's pretty close to New Year's now, some time has passed, as you might have noticed from the chests. We're back in the nether, and, oh, like my blue floor, by the way, this is rock wool. It's not actually the normal wool, so it doesn't burn. I thought it would be appropriate for the nether, since it does not burn. Kind of fine, and I have tons of lapis, so why not blue? Yeah, as you see, these chests are back to normal now, and that's because it's just before New Year's, and now I'm trying to breed the tipsy bees, which are pretty similar in terms of breeding. I also have a full apiarist suit, so I can now walk in here without getting injured, which is really, really useful. And I've gotten to demonic bees here, so we'll trying to get some purebreds of those. All right, so let's get going. I have a bunch of stuff here. Most of it's going to be perfectly fine for use. And actually, what I need to do is take this stuff off. Let me just throw that. Now I'm going to put it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, because I don't want to lose it, because it took me quite a while to get it. Now let's go ahead and see where we were with regard to stupid ghast. With regard to building this blaze farm. So here's the dual blaze spawners, and kind of what I'm thinking, I cleared out some area down there where all those, go away, where all those guys are. In fact, you know what, go away. We're just going to be building, and there's just no point to it. So anyway, while yeah, I know, sorry guys, I do switch to peaceful every now and then, generally not for any reason, but if I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, I'm just going to switch to peaceful, because there's no reason for me to just have the mobs keep on showing up. But anyway, right around in this area, I think, is where I want Yeah, probably around, like, right here is where I want the two spawners to meet up. We have this one all set, where I have the mobs going down to a 1x1 area, where that they should fall down there, and then I'm going to have the automatic, automated way of spitting out minecarts to grab them, and then be gotten rid of over here, where I will have a tower that the blaze will go up in order to basically kill them. So anyways, I'm gonna probably end up standing for this thing right around like here or so. So actually I should probably put the tower going up to be right about here. I don't want it to be too far from the spawners, so that kind of sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. So it's basically right there. In fact, let's mark it. So okay, so let's mark it. It's gonna be right here. This is just arbitrary. Okay, it's marked. This is where it is. That's where it's gonna be. All right, that seems pretty reasonable. What do you think? Maybe a little closer to here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so since we're down here, let me show you what's going on here. So the mobs are going to be coming down to... I actually need to get rid of this one for now, just for a second. Alright, so the mobs will be coming down here. This is where they'll be falling down. They'll be pushed by these blocks eventually down to here. So I just want to make sure that it does... Yeah, so they should be pushed down right here, and this is where they're going to be picked up. So I don't think the blaze can get back up here. I think they're pretty good at not getting back up here. We'll see if that's going to be a problem. We'll find out soon enough. Which means that this is where the dispenser is going to go. And the dispenser is going to dispense minecarts. And while I'm here, let me do this and just be... Actually, you know what? I thought I had iron, but I guess I don't. Okay, so never mind. Alright, so this is going to be the minecart. We're going to power rail it. Yep, okay. I guess I'll just full speed it. I think that's full speed. I don't really know for sure. And then the rest of the way is going to be... Or at least most of the rest of the way, I should say, is going to be here. And part of me thinks that maybe I should put it like... I don't know. You know what? Let me kind of measure around and see if I can detect the best place to put this. Hold on a second. I might change things. Okay. So I kind of figured it out. It's basically, yeah, in the same spot. I moved it forward just slightly. So the place where they're going to actually come up is right here. I should mark it with a stone brick right now. That's where the lava is going to be. So actually, I don't mark it with a stone brick. I'll mark it with a stone brick here. Because remember, the lava is going to fall right down here. Now, they're going to share the same lava column up, which means that both are going to end their rail lines here. And that should be enough, although, you know what, let me make sure it's going to be enough. Okay. And now we're going to need to have at least 2 of these. Oh, wait. No, I have cobble in here. I have to have cobble in here. I always do. Okay, there's one. Alright. There we go. Alright. And then... Gonna make sure that we have it. You know what? It's gonna come back there. So that's... Whoa, hey now. You know what? That's fine. Alright, that's good. And then I'm actually gonna just put nether brick right here. I don't want it to be gotten rid of. And okay, I just fell into a hole. Whatever. Anyway, alright, that's good. That's reasonable. Okay, so that's powered. And then this is going to need to be powered as well. And there it is. And there you have it. It is now powered. We'll have to ghast-proof this whole thing. Like I said, I'm just doing this in peaceful mode now because I honestly don't have the time to worry about ghasts. I really don't. But we will be turning it on to hard as soon as I can. Now, the key is there's going to be a hopper right here, and this is where the sand will be for the cactus. And just because I want to make sure it's protected from ghasts, actually what I probably should do is, whoa, darn it, is do it this way, which is actually something I need to do, I believe. Alright, so I'm building myself a little platform here. This will work. This should work just fine. Alright, right there and there. There. Now we're going to have 2 pieces of sand here. Wait, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. Okay, I actually moved that back too far, but that's okay. There's going to be a sand here. A cactus here. I don't want to place it yet because I don't have a half slab. You know what? I'm going to place it. I don't care. It'll grow a little. That's fine. And then, let's see, we have a hopper that's going to go down here. So there's one of the hoppers. And then I have to hook up a line to go right back to that dropper, or what you may call it, dispenser. That's a dispenser. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hook up the pipes and then kind of pretty things up, but this is basically what's going on here. So minecart goes, it's going to be boosted and broken and then come back. And we're going to go ahead and set that up, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I ran the pipe, and we will be covering that to protect it from ghast fire, but for now, let's just leave it uncovered because we need to run wires and such. Yeah, so I think what we need to do now is run the pistons. So connect the piston, which should be over here, essentially. So piston's going to be pushing the blaze once they're here. Once the cart breaks, the cart's taken over there, back to the dispenser. And then a piston has to shove the blaze in the face like this. So I need to place a piston right here. We're going to use a sticky piston and hardened glass. And that will be able to push the blaze this way. Now I will need to make sure that this, so this forms my tower here. This needs to be an open spot, but this needs to be covered, right, just like that. I think that'll do it. Yeah, that should actually do it. That should actually do it. Okay, and then we can put something right there, and the same thing will happen on this side, so we'll have that, so I can use that to climb up here, and then we're just going to make a tower up. Yeah, pretty much going to make a tower just directly up. So I guess, well, I'll put that, we'll use that as a holding space for what will be the lava, and then we just end up throwing lava. I think we don't have to do source blocks of lava all the way up, but I'm going to try to do it that way because I think that might be better. I think that's it. I think that's kind of mirrored in both ways. Kind of. So right now, that'll be where the... Well, I don't have the other piston, but the other piston will be over there. So yeah, okay, so one side will go over here. The other side will be over here. So that spawner over yonder will actually come into here. Like so, probably from that direction. Okay, so it'll come in through here, and this one will come in through here. This one will push the mobs this way. This one will push the mobs this way. They'll both be pushed to the center column where they'll float right up. Okay, that should work just fine. Now let's set up the wiring for this sucker. Now, if we remember what we did last episode, we essentially put it right here. Actually, we put it right in the first one. We put it right here. Not this block, but this block. What happened here was the piston was extended too long. When we did it here, it was actually okay, I think. I think it was okay when it was there. Alright, and then I just run the red wire all the way down this pipe, as you see. There we go. And I hope I can run it all the way down without having to break anything. I think I might have to break some stuff. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll just do it this way. All right, so let's go down there. I think that'll do it. Because right down here then is, you know what, let's, there we go. Perfect. I'm just going to do it this way. And there. And then here I'll say when there's a red pipe signal. Oh, send the redstone signal, right? Which will activate the dispenser. That's perfect. That's what we wanted to do. And then if there is, I'll say if there is an item traversing this pipe, send out a red pipe signal. So anytime that minecart comes through here, it'll go over there and send out the signal. Now we're going to have an off switch for this, which will be an AND gate. And I think, is this an AND gate right now? Oh, it is. Okay, good. So for now, what I'll actually have to do is I'm going to put the off switch right underneath here for now. This is not actually going to be the case for real, but it's going to say when there is a redstone signal on and items traversing. So when I do that, it should recognize that there's a redstone signal, and now it'll activate. Otherwise, it won't do anything. Okay? And then there's got to be a way to start this thing. And I guess we can just... For now, I'm just going to throw a lever here. Or a lever, depending on how you... Okay, that's a stick. That would be a stick. Come on. Lever. And I'm just going to actually put it like right here. Yeah, literally just going to put it right there. I'm running out of nether brick, but that's okay because I actually have plenty. Okay. All right, that's enough for now. And let's start to test this, kind of. I think it's a good idea to test it. So I'm gonna run the lava column up. I'm gonna set up that area. I'm gonna set up the dispenser with some minecarts. I'm gonna do a few things, and then I'll be right back. Okay? See you in a second. Well, guys, Blaze Carts version 1.0 is up for test run now, and well, it's been going through a few test runs. I've been watching it a little bit, have been noticing some issues we have, although there are some aspects of the system that are actually working really great. So right now it is actually running with Blaze, and we're going to go ahead and see it running. The minecart returning system is excellent. It always returns. There's never been a time when I've lost a minecart. Not yet, anyways. The system for actually making the minecarts be dispensed, strangely doesn't always work, and sometimes it gets hung up, and I'm not really sure why. In fact, you just see it right now. Mostly dealing with when I have higher memory inducing processes, for example, like starting to record. Honestly, I think it has to do with the length of the pulse here for the dispenser, so I think that's a little bit too short, and so sometimes it doesn't fire, especially when my CPU is under duress, or at least memory is being used. The other aspect that might actually be linked to that is that sometimes this piston, it pushes maybe for too short a period of time, and it causes a blaze not to travel up the column. And what that does is it kind of causes a backlog. The system can actually kind of fix itself sometimes when that happens, though, because of the positioning of this booster rail right here. It actually boosts it back, and then it boosts it back this way, and then it can actually fix itself in one cycle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, we got a few more blaze going on here. But I kind of want you to see that aspect too. Notice as well I did a few things. I put in rails above the hopper here because I forgot about that last time. That's needed. The other thing I did was add a second piston and have linked this piston powering to the same time as firing another minecart. So it as the same time the same signal that tells the dispenser to dispense a minecart, it also tells the piston to extend. I also extended this piston and had it linked up with the opposing piston because sometimes what happened, and man, this is getting loud. Well, it's loud for me anyways. What happens is actually when the blaze get pushed, sometimes they get pushed to the other side. So I want to make sure that that is stopped from happening by making these two push at the same time. They're a little bit off, but I think that's not going to be an issue, especially considering what I'm going to do next to the system, which I think is going to be actually not using the pipe wire system anymore for timing. I think what I'm going to actually do is link this up to a hopper timer, and just have it able to be controlled really easily, as well as it'll be a little faster. But as you can see, it does transport them. At least it transports them effectively, and you get a decent amount. So I'm going to have some work to do, but this is a really good first run. So I'm going to try to improve this a little bit, but I'll be back in a bit. You can know, at least at this point, that well, it works. It pretty much works. Pretty much. Hey. And stop it, Blaze. Stupid. I don't have any arrows, and it really is really difficult to deal with Blaze when you have no arrows. But it actually works for the first time. Cool. The idea works, and I think we can improve this further and make it really work. Oh, crap. Alright, I'll be back, guys. I gotta fix some damage. Stop it, Blaze! I mean, ghasts. Hate these things. Hate them. Really hate these ghasts. Give me damn arrows. Alright, see you guys in a second. Well, now, we had a nice start to this blaze cart system, but we're gonna have to revamp it a little bit, and I think we should address most of the problems that we saw with this by changing the timing of how the signals are transferred in this system. So initially the signals were transferred by just items passing through a pipe, and then specifically the minecarts. As they were passing back through this pipe, they sent out a signal to the dispenser to launch another minecart, which sometimes appeared to be a little too short, depending on how fast the item traveled through here. And also the piston timing of how fast the pistons, or how long the pistons were extended for, maybe caused the blaze not to be pushed appropriately. So in order to address both of those things, we're going to have better control over it with just traditional redstone. I think we're going to do that with a hopper timer. I don't know whether this was initially, the problems here were initially caused by lag or something basically similar to that, and I don't know if it was lag because of the pipe or lag due to the pipe wire, which is what I suspect, but I've noticed that with pipe wire anyways. If you have any application where you need a specific length of time, the updating of pipe wire seems to happen kind of slowly and with a little bit of lag, so it's not really recommended for short pulses. It was working fine in creative mode, but in the reality, no, not quite as good. So anyways, we're gonna base this on a hopper timer now, and we're still using Buildcraft pipes to transport the minecarts back to the dispenser, and that should work very well, still without any issues. It's just that we're gonna be powering these pistons using some redstone, and we're gonna make the job a little easier by using these the redstone pipe wire as well. But we're going to make sure the pulse is long enough to extend these pistons for as long as we can. And we're going to be doing that mostly next episode, but we're going to set up I just want to set up the at least the hopper timer portion right now with the short time we have left. So if you've never seen one of these before, well, this is an ethos style hopper timer. You position the hopper outputs toward each other. So you use two hoppers and you basically shuffle items from one to the other, and this causes a redstone change, which actually controls the hopper timer, but it also controls the output. And we're going to be using, and I'll show you how this works. Usually, people use this in a way that is actually not the same as I'm going to use it right now. So you build it using this little just technique here. Don't forget oh, I do need another piston right there. Nope, not right there, not right there. Right next to the comparator, right? Okay. There is a block of redstone that kind of serves as a power, and usually what people do is they base the output of these on that block of redstone. So if you set, here, I'll just set this up real quick. So what you can do is say this redstone will power, for example, oh, what am I doing? Yes, that. Right now what we can do is we can just put some, I don't know. Okay, here, as you see, it'll shuffle back and forth depending on how many items you put in here. And if you want to stop this, you actually can just push a lever, power either this block or that block. So if I power that block, it stops, and it'll finish a cycle usually, and then it'll stop here, right? So yeah, this with 9 pieces of dirt, it's that long. If I take this and cut down the amount of dirt in there and then let it go again, you see it's a lot quicker, right? And most people use this redstone block as the output source. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use another feature, which is essentially these blocks can form a unified pulse. You'll notice every change, there's a pulse to this line. And what we can do is we can use this pulse, which should be long enough to power a dispenser. We might have to extend it just slightly. And then I'm going to extend this more significantly for the pistons. So I'm going to basically use this pulse to control the timing. And then if we want to stop this timer, we just either supply power to this one, this block, or that block. So this is going to form the basis of what we do to, I hope, fix and address some of the issues with this Blaze Carts version 1.0, and we'll be doing that in the coming episode or episodes. But in the meantime, guys, I think that'll just about do it for this episode. It's been kind of fun to mess around again with some redstone stuff, and it's going to be pretty cool. I think next episode we'll be using, like I said, some pulse extenders, and whoa, hello, Blaze. Is that my looting sword? Good, I don't want to use my looting sword on you. Don't want to waste it. And I really do need arrows in this world. It's ridiculous. I need to find a nice skeleton spawner so I can have a farm, an arrow farm of some sort. Either that or I need to grab some chickens and just make a chicken farm. That might be easier. So I can get some arrows already. Jeez. Alright, well anyways guys, we once again end in the nether, and we started the episode in a very merry way at Christmas time. We now have merry bees, tipsy bees, which are also from around this New Year's time, this Yuletide time. And now we have the makings of a blaze farm in the nether, so fire and ice. We got both for you. Okay, guys, thanks. It's been fun, and I will continue to do this. So, take care, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, guys. And I don't know if this gets lighter for you or not, but it kind of does for me. Anyway, see you guys in the next episode, where we tackle more of this, and maybe do a few other things. All right, take care. Bye-bye now.